Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Before I start, I need to mention that this is a second-hand story that was told to me by my closest friend. I believe him because he is one of those people that is oblivious to the paranormal and never even thinks about it or entertains the idea. My friend just got a job for a company called Protect America. Look it up. They are a security systems company, basically like ADT but not as mainstream, that sell alarm systems for homes and businesses with phone support. My friend got a job as a Tier 1 customer service agent. He did basic things like cancel service, assist with sign-ups, and basic over-the-phone troubleshooting. His first week in training, he told me that they were being shown different calls they recorded to give them examples of things they may deal with on the job. Some were standard calls, others more irate customers, and others were schizos thinking little green men were trying to harass them. Well, one call was very different. An old lady calls in complaining that someone keeps moving things in her house, and that the motion sensors aren't picking them up. The way my friend explained the story suggests it was as if they were also watching the woman's camera system, showing her on the call with the agent, while hearing the call audio at the same time. Anyway, the agent on the phone continues to try to assist her with basic troubleshooting, when all of a sudden the box that the security sensors are attached to is thrown from the wall. It was connected to all the way to the other side of the room on its own. My friend said you just hear the agent freaking out on the phone, and then that was the end of the recording. My friend didn't really say much after that. He was not under the impression that the video was shown as a joke. He was pretty convinced it was just part of the training showing the realities of things they will deal with in that line of work, and just shrugged it off. It makes me wonder if there are other professions where paranormal things are to be expected.
I've relayed this on here before, but can't confirm it since I don't want to lose my job. Greentexting the fast version now. Work at a security company monitoring alarms. The fire or burglary alarm goes off. I make the calls and send the fire department and police when necessary. One account is the admin building of an insane asylum, most of which has been torn down. The admin building is being remodeled for something else now, and they have motion viewers. Motion viewers take a 10-second video clip of what's in front of it when its motion detector is activated. April 4, 2015. Start getting videos from a basement motion viewer with nothing visible at around 3 a.m. Sometime around 4-ish, get one that has something moving. Looks like two figures, misty white, and sees through walking from left to right, one just behind the other. Can only make out half of the front one. Second one is pretty clear. Can still see the stairs behind and through both. Looks enough like a person that co-worker dispatches. To even get to the basement, you have to pass two more viewers on the ground floor. We figure they malfunctioned and didn't catch the people entering or something. Cops get there, trip off the ground floor viewers as well, checking the place out. Working fine.x. They find nothing. It's the talk of the office. We get weird things on camera every now and then, apparently. No one was surprised, mostly excited. Someone talked too much, though. A week later, we got a string of live trespassers. Teenagers going ghost hunting. Can't even put the video online because of customer privacy. And teenagers. Gods damn it. Anyone in Knoxville, Tennessee, don't go ghost hunting at the admin building of Lakeshore Asylum. Yes, there are ghosts there, but there are also cameras, and I have to dispatch on you. Actually, you know what? Someone tell me a site to upload videos without an account. I'm going to upload the video. It's secondhand. I took a video with my cell phone recording the computer screen, just for your information. Fine, I found one myself. Here you go. Video for my post.
So for the people who are just listening, the video is basically OP filming a screen that is playing the security tape. While not holding his phone still. There are people walking around in it.
I got one. Nothing too bad, but I don't know, maybe it'll give you a chill. Working graveyard shift security at uni campus. Only 2 guards for the whole campus. And we're instructed to do patrols alone because it's a stupid security company with stupid rules. Also, we are completely unarmed for the same reason. Anyway, it's about 3 or 4 a.m. one night, out on my patrol of the campus externals while the other guard stays in the office. There's this one part of the campus that is about a block away from the rest. When walking on the street between the 2 sections, we technically have no authority. That smaller section is where I was when this happened. See a dude in a hoodie near one of the buildings. Can't see his features from this distance, in the dark. He just seems to be waiting there. As he sees me, he zips up his hood. It's one of those hoodies that zips up right over the face and has a skull on it. Walks towards me and asks if I have a lighter. No, I don't smoke, I keep walking. Dude follows me, come on man, give me a light. Doesn't sound drunk or high, which is weird since only drunks and junkies are usually out at this time. Ignore the guy and start walking towards the office, trying to radio for the other guard to back me up. No response. Finally got back to the main campus. The dude following me just stopped as I entered the lit area. He is standing out on the dark street in the middle of the road, watching me from a distance with his skull hoodie. I get back to the office, check the security footage, since he should have walked right under one of the cameras. The footage literally just shows the tip of his foot from off-screen, as he is standing just out of frame. Surely a coincidence, but it spooked me out thinking he might have knowledge of our setup. Really shook me up.
He was going to try to rob you. Panhandling or asking for a light is how a lot of robberies start, since it's an easy way for robbers to gain the upper hand quickly. When someone starts fishing in their pocket for a lighter or change, their dominant hand is busy, and that's when the robber either pulls a weapon or starts swinging.
This is kind of my line of thought. Don't want to say too much, but I work as an alarm monitor at a security company. One of our accounts is a well-known blood bank that has regular blood drives all over. Don't want to say the name. I don't want to get fired for giving out privileged information about our customers. Security, after all. Anyways, what first caught my attention is that this particular account has special instructions on handling the alarms, as in much more strict than any other accounts, even banks or pharmacies. I mentioned this at one point around coworkers and boss, and they all seem to be in agreement that there is something fishy going on with them, not because of the strict instructions alone, but because of other details. This place has not 1 but 3 security companies for monitoring, as well as their own 24/7 guards and CCTV within the place itself. My boss mentioned that when we first got the account, state officials came in and grilled the top of our staff, did all sorts of inspections, etc. TL, DR, blood banks have security that is jacked and no one knows why. One coworker jokes that the vampires want to protect their food source. Another thinks it might be a front for holding or hiding bioweapons. I don't know for sure. I'm just the low guy on the totem pole having to call and be told not to dispatch every night when they trip shit off with 3 a.m. deliveries.
Be me, security guard for a private security company in California. I'm a rover, basically get stuck into whatever shifts someone has to duck out of for vacations or whatever. At least it pays above minimum wage. On fire watch at an empty warehouse in an industrial zone. Night shift, it's about 3 a.m. Playing some Monster Hunter on my 3DS. Some exposition, the warehouse basically had 2 sections with a couple about 10 by 10 shutter doors in between them. If you were on one side, you couldn't see the other unless you were in the doorway. The thing was completely empty other than an old forklift and some splintery pallets, so no one would break in to steal stuff. I'm just hanging around passing the time while the company pays me $11 an hour to sit on my ass doing nothing, writing some bull in my daily activity log. Hear a crash coming from the other side of the warehouse. No idea what could make that noise. It sounded like it came from outside. Figure it might be a stack of crates outside falling over or something. Maybe a junkie stumbled into a wall or something. Grab a flashlight, put on a jacket, head outside to check out what it was. Perimeter of the building is clear, head back in. Heard a crash again, this time it's coming from the roof. Doesn't sound like a bird or raccoon. Sounds like something heavy stepping purposefully. Like someone in work boots. There's no ladder access to the roof that I'm aware of. Roofing is sheet metal, so the crashing or stomping is echoing and quite loud. The source of it continues from one side of the building to the other. Stops for a few minutes. Suddenly, several loud bangs on one of the loading bay doors. The entire door rattled. Can't exactly nope out of there, so post up in a corner and keep my eyes on the loading doors. Occasionally, a different door gets banged on. Hear the stomping once more at some point. Recorded in my activity report as suspicious noises because I don't want to sound like a paranoid freak. I'm glad that was my last day there.
I had something similar happen to me when I worked as a security guard for a complex of storage buildings owned by this rich dude. I heard loud banging on the outside wall of one of the buildings, but found nothing when I investigated.
I'll bite OP. This is from the other night. I'm on my phone, so it might be crappy. Backstory. I work for a specialized security company. I'm the only unarmed guard we have, so I'm the only one at this office building I work at. It has 2 buildings and a garage behind them. This place is owned by the Department of Energy, so they are government cars. I only work the weekends, but sometimes late at night. So it was a Saturday night at around 19:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I had been at work for about an hour now, and I have done 2 rounds in both buildings and am now doing a perimeter sweep. It's freezing, and I have my jacket zipped up all the way, so it was covering my pepper spray on my belt. I was walking behind one of the buildings towards the parking garage. It's about a 30-meter walk from the road to the garage behind the building. I'm about 17 or 18 meters down the path, and I spot a black car on top of the structure. This freaked me out because I was the only one there, and I had my pepper spray and nothing else. So I run to the side entrance into the garage. It's gated, so you can only get in with a key card. So I ran to the side entrance to see if any left the other side, but there was nothing. Then I remembered that the Department of Energy in this area only uses silver or white cars and SUVs, so I began to get a little freaked out. I slowly entered the garage, and my flashlight suddenly stopped working. That was an oh shit .gif moment. I stood in the light from the light above me for a few, and heard what sounded like tires rolling. You know the squeaky sound and them rolling? I stood frozen in fear for a couple seconds, and then I remembered my training, escape, concealment, and evade, not in that order. I bolted out a walkway that led to the main building. I was fumbling for my key card, and I quickly looked behind me and saw a figure slowly walking towards me. I hopped inside and called for armed backup. It was 10 miles away, unfortunately. I was inside for now, but backup came about 10 minutes later. The Department of Energy security officer opened the front door and came to the front desk. I filled him in on what happened, and we both went outside to investigate. We both looked around, and by that time it was getting really dark, like pitch black. The only light was the street lights and our flashlights. We searched for about 20 minutes, but found nothing. So he hopped in his car and drove away and left me all alone again. I went back inside to do my round and kept feeling like I was being followed, but I left that night without further incident. I later asked the camera guys to look at the tapes, and they saw the person, just not the car. Ever since then, I've never seen it again.
Something strange happened almost 3 years ago. Working for a private security company. Shift ends earlier than expected. Going back home in the afternoon. Living in the suburbs. Taking a shortcut, because I'm tired. A shortcut is a small forest connecting the highway and my neighborhood. Very, very few people use this shortcut. Walking on the very right side of the highway, an old lady is walking towards me. Looks like a gypsy, but very well dressed, which is quite uncommon. Getting closer, having a better view of the lady. About 10 meters between us. She walks directly to me, looks like she wants to say something. "My dear son, could you please tell me what time it is?" Translated, of course. She has a very decent accent compared to the average gypsy. Check my watch. Notice that I'm not wearing it. Say sorry and tell her that I don't have my watch. The lady says, "It's not a problem, may God speed you, my dear son." Thank her and keep walking. Maybe 5 seconds later I remember that I have a phone. Grab phone from pocket. Call for her and turn back. No one is there. Since it's a highway, there are many cars passing through. One of them might have picked her up, or she just might have jumped into the forest. It's the biggest mystery of my life. Sex. X. What do you think about it?
Facilities manager for the old president's house at my university one summer. Get a free place to live, a little cottage on the grounds, in exchange for locking doors and cleaning fountains. The house is this sprawling stucco Victorian-style thing with gardens and a tower built in the 30s. Chilling one night when I get a call from the security company saying there's a hit on a motion detector in the main house kitchen and the alarm is going off. Go wait in the driveway for campus PD to come clear the house so I can lock up again. While in the driveway, I get a call. No number or name or call blocked. Just a blank incoming call screen. Answer. No spoopy static or whispering, just silence. Whatever. Cops show up and search the house. No signs of a break-in or anything in the house. Lock up and go back to watching Chinese girl cartoons or whatever. 2:30 a.m. I'm in bed reading. I can hear the alarm start to go off in the house now. Probably rats or something. Get dressed and go wait for the cops again. Another call comes in. No name or number, just the blank incoming call screen. Silence again on the other end. Think it's the security company trying to get in touch. A couple minutes later, the security company calls, asks them if they have been trying to get through to me before then. The guy says he hasn't called me besides the times I picked up. Give them the code and all that bull. He says it's another motion sensor hit in the foyer this time. There's lots of windows and framed pictures in there, so it was probably headlight reflections. Cops show up and clear the place without finding anything again. Lock up and go back to bed. Asleep until about 4 a.m. Wake up to a call from the security company. Another sensor hit this time upstairs where one sensor covers a long-ass spoopy hallway. Ask the guy if he can just turn it off so I cannot bother with it. He gets kind of pissy and says no, don't even bother getting dressed. Call campus PD and tell them not to come back since it's obviously rats or something wrong with the system or something. Walk around the outside and make sure everything is still locked tight. Go in to turn off the alarm. Alarm is down in the cellar. That's your typical spoopy-ass horror movie basement. Bare concrete floor, cinder block walls, and a single bare bulb hanging in the center that you have to walk down into the middle of the room in the dark to turn on with the pull chain. There are a couple of little 12x6 windows at ground level that let in just enough light from the street lamps outside to see the musty old furniture and shelves of booze and cleaning supplies. I hate that place, so I hurry down the stairs and jerk the light on as fast as possible. Turn off the alarm and get ready to go back to my little shack when the phone rings. No caller ID again. I consider ignoring it, but curiosity mixes with anger when it occurs to me that someone might be screwing with me. Hit the answer button and shout, "What?" into the receiver. Listen intently for some sign of someone on the line, like breathing or the hum of a building. Nothing but silence on the other end as I stand there with the crusty bare bulb swaying slightly above my head, causing the shadows to grow and shrink on either side of me. Suddenly, out of the quiet comes an angry burst of white noise, followed by a little beep from my phone, telling me the call was disconnected. My heart jumps into my throat and I am suddenly hyper-aware of the spooky room I'm in the basement of this spooky house. I yank the little pull chain to kill the bulb above me and sprint 3 stairs at a time back into the kitchen with that horrible feeling of being chased that you get when you spook yourself out. I can hear the dishes rattle in the cupboards as I run through the kitchen, and the pictures on the walls shake in their frames when I run from the dining room to the foyer and out the front door. Speed walk back around to my shack and decide to have a smoke to chill out. As I'm sitting there on my steps, drawing from my bowl in my undies, I can see the little windows to the cellar. The light is back on. And that was the night some spoopy stuff happened. The guy who had the job before me told me the place was creepy, but he never experienced anything himself. Nothing else happened after that night, but I always tried to lock up before the sun went down after that.
Worked my way through college as a security guard for a security company. Bigger than average and had boxing, MMA, and street fighting experience, so got sent to all of the worst places needing guarding. One was an animal feed company in an ancient factory right next to several ghettos. Actually a pretty good post because there was always stuff happening, so it made the night go by fast. The place was full of bums and homeless people that I would have to run off. Dangerous enough that they always stationed 2 guards there. We would always dare each other to do stupid stuff, kind of a follow the leader kind of thing. There was a side of the building that usually had a pack of wild dogs hanging around that ate any of the food that spilled out of the train cars in the back. This side also had an unused truck dock that had an elevated loading area that the bums would sleep under. My dare was to go out a side door, past the dog packs, the old loading dock, around to the back and in through one of the back doors. I went first and loaded my pockets with rocks and had a baseball bat as backup. Went out the side door. A couple dogs came running up, launched the rock attack, made it to the loading dock, no bums but smelled like something dead. Saw a black plastic trash bag that looked odd, and a couple of more dogs were coming up. They all hated us, probably because we threw rocks at them when we were bored. So we trotted around the building to the back door. I figured the dogs would be there when my partner made his run. Get back in through the back door, and now it was my partner's turn. He leaves out the side door and shortly makes it back in through the back door but is freaking out. I thought he was just spooked by the dogs, but he was saying he saw a dead baby. We found quite a few dead bums there, so anything was possible. He said the dead baby was under the loading dock in a black plastic bag. Well, great, now I had to go back out there and see if it was for real. We both went so he could keep the dogs off while I checked out the trash bag. Go outside the side door, chase off a few dogs. Make it to the old loading area. Definitely a bad vibe going on. See the black trash bag and it definitely looks like the shape of a baby. It's stuck way back underneath the loading area. The whole area is covered in broken glass, wino piss, and all kinds of disgusting shit. There was an old tree by the railroad tracks, so I broke off a pretty good-sized branch to pull the bag out. The creepy vibe intensifies, poke at a bag with a branch, very solid. Definitely something in there. Start dragging the bag out from under the dock. Saw a little arm pop out of the opening. Did not believe it was anything other than trash, so it shocked me to the point of hauling ass. Decide to call cops. I start to think about it being a toy doll or something. So I decide to go out and verify it is real before calling the cops. Go back out, back to bag, partner shining the flashlight while I use branch to open bag, serious stink going on. But that area always stunk. Verified that it was a dead baby or small child. Went back in to call the cops. Took about 6 minutes to get to the phone, call and get back outside to wait for them to arrive. Walk over to the loading dock. Black trash bag is gone. Oh great. Police en route, bag and body gone. Looked around the area. Nothing. The cops rolled up while we were searching. We tell them it is gone. They have a good laugh thinking we are messing with them. Show them the area. They find blood and hair. I know one of the cops. He's been out there to run off the bums and was there for one of the dead bums we had to call in. We did a thorough search and couldn't find any trace other than the last place I had moved it. The cops jokingly tell us to call if we run into it again and go back to their patrol. Not sure if the dogs got it or if the person that stashed it saw us and grabbed it. Either way, that was a creepy place. A lot of creepy shit went down there.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.
Remember to check out the Odyssey page in the description for a second archive of the channel's videos.
There's also a Rumble archive as a backup.